An already record-breaking amount of money has been spent in Colorado's election this year, but that amount has now eclipsed $200 million. I feel like I should just say that as Mike Myers here. The $22 million from Jared Polis, along with $37 million spent by oil and gas companies, make up a large percentage of the total, but even unrelated races have broken records. Patty, we're going to do 2 rounds in the election, but let's look at the money first. What kind of difference or impact has it made? $200 million is a lot of money in a state like Colorado. What difference has it made?
It's made television stations that are getting the ads very happy, radio stations that are getting the ads very happy. I'm not sure that it has really moved the needle on most of these campaigns. When you think about the money that's gone into 112 against 112, which is, the people who put it on the ballot have spent a tiny amount compared to the opponents. And especially the money that is going into 74, which is the most cynical ballot measure we may ever have seen. If you took that money, so now going up to over 50 million probably combined, the money, especially from the oil and gas, you could go fix all the infrastructure problems in Colorado with that money, rather than have to have this nuclear option vote that we're going to have on Tuesday regarding 112 and 74. The other ballots are still also getting plenty of money, 73, 110, not 109, but you just look at the amount of money, and I don't think it's really changed things. We haven't had a lot of smart campaigns. We've had a lot of dirty campaigns. We've had a lot of dirty ads. You just wish all this money could have gone to a truly good cause.
David, on to Patty's point, do you think this money has made an impact, maybe not so much as just quantity, but has it come down to quality, and has that been lacking?
I think there were some who would say that the oil and gas industry has put a huge amount of money into consultants that didn't turn out the most efficiently as possible. This 112 oil and gas ban is so ridiculously extreme. It should be at 12% in the polls. And the fact that it's closer than that is an indication they could have done better in their PR over the years. But the amount of money in general is, look, we have a state budget of $30 billion and a federal budget that's just ginormous. And so when there's all that loot around, you're going to have tax consumers who want to get as much of it as they can. And so, yeah, it makes a lot of sense for them to invest in a campaign a certain amount of money, and they can hopefully get back way more money from a legislative body they control. And the campaign finance laws make it worse, like McCain-Feingold, and a product of George Soros in large part, and our similar thing in Colorado, which wouldn't have happened without Jared Polis. The rules happen to, when you really get down to the details, super benefit the ultra-rich at the expense of everyone else.
Eric, we've talked around here about if you have so many ads, voters can tend to tune out or get a kind of a no attitude across everything because it becomes frustrating. But is all this money in Colorado an endorsement that Colorado is still very purple? Because if opinions can't be changed, that's why so much money is coming here? Or is this just elections in 2018?
I think it's elections in 2018. I think there's just been a ramp up of spending, not just in Colorado, but all across the country. So the barrier to entry is a much higher barrier. I mean, it used to be you could run a very credible, high-budget statewide ballot issue for $5, $6, $7 million. $5, $6, $7 million when you're looking at the kind of money some others are spending right now doesn't go as far as it used to in Colorado. I'm particularly intrigued with the Polis expenditure here, and particularly with so many Democrats who, it strikes me, for years and years have gotten out of bed in the morning to talk about campaign finance reform, to wax eloquent about Citizens United or whatever, and to talk really about the evils of money in politics. But Jared Polis has built a career now, and that career will probably take him next Tuesday to the governor's mansion. He's built a career of defying those criticisms. He is the one person in the Democratic Party who seems to get a pass on those issues, and he can spend his own money. I suspect his number will be up around 30 million when all is in. And Democrats just wink and look the other way and say, that's Jared, that's okay.
Susan, what does all this money, $200 million in Colorado, say to you?
It definitely does not say that voters are more informed. And, you know, it means that a lot of trees died for these things, and a lot of postage was spent. But what we're seeing at the Colorado Independent is people writing in really confused about issues, really not up on state legislative races. They're looking for our coverage on that, and they get nothing substantial from these mailers at all. So, and from the TV ads. And I agree with Eric about this sort of ability of Polis, and I think this has as much to do with the kind of, I hate to say this, flaccidness of Walker Stapleton's campaign, but that there really has not been the discussion around Jared Polis's, let's say, 30 million that I would have expected. And so all I can say is it's not helping information at all. It's just going into a lot of consultants' coffers and wasting a lot of paper.